Hey everyone, welcome to yet another weather forecast. But first, we're going to be checking out some of these cameras that are out across the United States. This is just near Warrenton, Missouri. And as you can see, quite a bit of snow is falling here. And we actually have some accumulation already starting to pile up on some of the roadways here and then also on the grass as well. This snow is actually about to start to move into St. Louis, Missouri, and then eventually down to the south and east towards areas like southern Illinois, potentially going into Kentucky as well. Not only that, we have almost completely blinding conditions happening just to the south of Buffalo, New York. As you can see, it is hard to really tell anything that's happening here due to the fact that there's such a heavy snow band over this area. You can also kind of pick out here that we still have some travelers on the roads, folks. If you are anywhere between Buffalo and kind of the New York line near Lake Erie, you guys got to be really watching out because we've already starting to see people get trapped on the roadways because of too much snowfall. And although this area is really good at dealing with this and clearing it out, for instance, near Erie, Pennsylvania, we had large traffic all kind of stopped due to all the snowfall that had fallen and people were stranded overnight. This morning, they've cleared all of that snow out, but people still got stranded. So if you are driving out in these conditions, please consider just going home if you're just like pulled out of your driveway, because again, it's pretty dangerous out here. Looking at the current radar, you can kind of see where most of that snow is falling right now. If we come over here south of Buffalo in between Erie, looks like that snow has calmed down for a little bit there in Erie, but we got another little bit of a snow band potentially that could make its way into the Erie area. South of Buffalo, we are seeing still just snow after snow after snow here, and that's not going to really stop for quite a bit. Also, a little bit of a heavier snow band is occurring over here south of Watertown as well. That is going to be piling up there on 81. Let's go see if we can try to get a view on that. Okay, here is a live view out of the Watertown area, and as you can see, snow has already started to pile up here, and you can see it's getting a little hazy. This is a snow band getting close to this area. Snowfall is about to pick up quite a bit. Again, just be careful out there. Road closures could be possible as these snow totals really start to pile up on some of these roadways. Coming back over here to Michigan, you can see that we're still getting some lake effect snow over there near Muskegon, Grand Rapids, and Lansing. That should start to calm down for a little bit after today, but up here in the northern area, we could still see some shots after shots of some snow accumulation over here near Petoskey. Also watching out up here near Marquette and Sault Ste. Mary's. And we've got this snowstorm over here near Kansas City and Columbia, Jefferson City, and St. Louis as well that we just looked at the beginning of this video with those cameras. And again, some of that heavier snowfall over here near Herman is about to move into the St. Louis area. So just keep your eye out. Driving conditions might get a little bit slow. The roads are about to get a little bit more slick as some of this heavier snow starts to move into your area. Sedalia, Jefferson City, Columbia also need to watch out for the potential for a heavier snow band there just to the south and east of Kansas City. But yeah, those are the current conditions right now. So let's kind of go look at some of our models and see what this will evolve into as we look into the future. So here's this little snow band over here near Topeka, also going into the St. Louis area. As you can tell, this is going to continue into like 12 p.m., 1 p.m., continuing going to 3 p.m. Eventually, St. Louis could potentially pick up a decent amount of snow from this. Southern Illinois going into Effingham at around 7 p.m., Vincennes, also Bloomington, Columbus, Louisville as well. Cincinnati is going to be potentially getting some snowflakes out of this, and that's going to continue over to the east until it pretty much hits the Appalachian Mountains, when a lot of that moisture is going to get squeezed out of the atmosphere, kind of fall on those mountainous regions there in West Virginia, parts of Virginia, maybe also making its way into Tennessee and North Carolina as well. But you can see that a decent amount of snowfall, some really fun snowfall is coming for a lot of folks in this area. Continuing to push this forward, again, you're going to see that kind of dry up as it interacts with those mountains. We're not really expecting too much to come into the Virginia area, but we could have a little bit of a snow squall develop near Lewisburg, Bradford, Roanoke. So keep your eye out for that. Little brief shots of snow are going to be possible up there. And then on the back side of this little clipper system, we're going to have another potential band of snow make its way into some of these regions again, going into areas like Minneapolis, Iowa, possibly also down in the air towards Missouri, Illinois, and that's eventually going to travel down to the south and east towards Kentucky. Might even try to make it into the Nashville area with some snowflakes. So just keep your eye on that. there's definitely an actual possibility here. We're not looking super far out in the models. This is definitely a possibility that could happen, as we are about 2.5 days from this happening. But again, keep your eyes on that. Yeah, in terms of the lake effect snow, when the heck is this thing gonna stop? Seriously, but in all seriousness, look at this. There's a bunch of lake effect snow bands. You can see them over there, north of Erie, south of Kingston, over there in the UP of Michigan and northern Michigan, kind of like where we're expecting them. And pushing this forward into 9 a.m., you still got those snow bands going into tomorrow. On the 1st, as we move into the evening, the 2nd, as we move into the early morning hours, they're still there. They are still there. Over there for the eastern side of Michigan, also over there near Lake Erie, that band could sink back south to Erie, bringing some more snow totals over there. Looks like the northern lake effect snow band is kind of calming down, but as we push this even further into the future, you can see that lake effect snow kind of calms down a little bit, but we're still seeing some happen going into the 3rd. Potentially some more lake effect snow, and then maybe a little bit of a clipper system up here, bringing some more enhanced snowfall with some of these areas of lake effect, potentially bringing more snow up to the northeast, also down here into Pennsylvania, Cleveland, Erie, south of Buffalo. Those might sound familiar because, yes, they've been getting lots of snow. Look at this over here, though. This is a little bit more of a complex system, and it's a little bit farther out, but can't completely rule out snow chances on the East Coast, but definitely going to be a little bit skeptical about that until we get a little bit closer to this event. But overall, you can see that lake effect snow is just really not going to stop anytime soon. And then we're going to continue to get these clipper systems come in. And as long as we have, some cooler air in this area geez Louise, over the, over the Great Lakes, again, the Great Lakes are nice and warm right now. As long as we have cold air and decent amount of winds moving over this area, we are going to see some of that convection form and that snowfall out of the sky. So here's our snowfall totals over the next 3 or so days, all the way through December 3rd here. As you can see, we still got a lot more snow to fall for a lot of folks. Let's kind of come back up here to North Dakota first. Over there in a minute in Bismarck, could see maybe 1 to 2 inches possible. The dusting to an inch could make it all the way down into Sioux Falls and Sioux City over here in parts of South Dakota and Iowa. We've already seen most of the snow accumulate over here near Topeka and Kansas City. Look at this, a pretty decent strip here of 4 to 5 inches possible, all the way from Columbia going into St. Louis, Wentzville over there near Missouri as well. South of Effingham, we're talking about Greenville, Salem, Florida, Olney, Fairfield, Vincennes as we move into southern Indiana, Washington, Princeton, Jasper, Paoli, even still seeing some, snowfall amounts of anywhere from 2 to 3 inches possible for Louisville, Frankfort, going into Lexington, Maysville as well. And then as that moves into the Appalachian Mountains over here near West Virginia, we're going to see that orographic lift kind of squeeze all of that moisture like wringing out a wet towel here. And that's going to drop a couple of inches, potentially almost a foot of snow in some of these peaks of the mountains. I mean, we could be getting pretty close to a foot of snow over here south of Clarksburg on the peaks of these mountains. But as you can see, as we push or look a little bit further to the east here, we're not really seeing a whole lot of snowfall over here for the Virginia area. So just keep that in mind as we go into the future, that although it's going to look like there's a big old thing of snow coming, it just might not make it into Virginia, unfortunately. Now, looking up here with some of our lake effect snow, we'll focus over here near Kingston and Watertown. Still to fall here. Potentially still, 3 feet of snow, maybe even a little bit more, still potentially could fall over here near Watertown. So it's not like that little camera view that we saw of Watertown where the roads were clear. That's going to change as we go into the future, especially since there is a pretty strong snow band up there that is slowly meandering up to the north. And I think that's really going to continue here. So you guys are pretty used to this kind of happening, but this is going to be on the higher end of events here. So definitely be battered down and ready to deal with the potential that you open your door and there's just a whole crap ton of snow in the way. But over there near Adams, Governor, and Tomagachi. That one's a hard one. New York, you're not making it easy on us national forecasters, I'll tell you what. Also, further down to the south near Williamson, in Auburn, we're talking about 8 to 9 inches being possible down here as well. That's going to try to spread into Cortland, Norwich, and Utica, with around 1 to 3 inches being possible there. And another big area where we're going to be watching out for a decent amount of snow, it's going to be over here near Erie, Cleveland, also over here near Buffalo as well. We could still be be talking about anywhere from 2 to 3 feet, maybe even higher than that. South of Buffalo, still to fall. Also over here near Erie, maybe another 1 to 2 feet still possible to fall through the 3rd of December. Also over here near Michigan, still talking about 8 to 9 inches still being possible in between Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids. Up here near Traverse City in northern Michigan, we're still talking about that potential for 2 feet of snow still to fall over here near like the Gaylord area. And kind of the bullseye here for now is Mansalona. But I mean, anywhere in Gaylord, Otsego Lake, Wolverine, Indian River could get up to a foot of snow. Sheboygan, 6 to 8 inches over there as well, and still a lot of snow to fall over here near the UP of Michigan. Lots of little areas here. All the areas that I'm circling here have the potential of getting a foot of snow. Further to the south on the purple and blue line here, that is anywhere from 6 to 9 inches snow, and then over there near Manistee and south of there, anywhere from 1 to 5 inches is possible. So yeah, lots of snow still to fall with a lot of these systems coming through. Couple little clipper systems to the south, and lots of lake effect snow to continue really for the foreseeable future, as long as we get, we looked all the way to the 9th of December and there was still lake effect snow bands. So by the time this is all said and done, we could have some areas on the grass sitting at, I wouldn't be surprised to see 6, 7, maybe even some isolated spots of 8 feet of snow by the time we get to the real end of this lake effect snow event. Because given how cold the temperatures are, which we're about to go look at, actually, let's just go look at that right now. Well, actually, one thing I want to do really quick is just talk about the precipitation that we were expecting. We're not really expecting severe weather. We're not really expecting really many areas of rain, maybe a little bit of rain over there in southern Texas. The kind of our main story is that most of the country is going to be dry here, with the exception of our lake effect snow events and our little clipper systems that are possible to the south of that. But other than that, it's pretty dry until we get into the 4th, where we have a little bit an advection here of some moisture coming up to the north into Louisiana, parts of Arkansas and Mississippi. Looking at the instability, though, it's really weak. So this is mainly just going to be showers and thunderstorms over here. It's definitely going to be pretty quiet in terms of precipitation. Looking at the temperatures for the next couple of days, this is the 5th at 12 a.m. You can definitely tell that we're still getting some pretty cold temperatures over here into the northern plains, going into the Ohio Valley, Illinois, and also in parts of New England as well. And eventually, as we go into kind of the later portions, we're going to see a pretty big surge here of some pretty cold temperatures even further to the south. Not really escalating too much over here near the Great Lakes and also into the northeast and into the northern plains. We could get some negative temperatures, though, in northern Minnesota and Wisconsin. But look all the way down here. We could have those 20-degree temperatures starting to push into the southeast, like areas like Arkansas, Oklahoma, going into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. Also, parts of North and South Carolina and Virginia as well could be getting in on some of those really cold temperatures, even getting down into 40s for some spots over here in kind of northwestern Florida. As I continue to push this through, you see that cold air just kind of sticks around. It's not going to really go anywhere. And then we get another surge of cold air as we go into the 8th of December. And, this is just going to kind of be the story here. There's not going to be really many major pattern changes at all. It's just going to be stuck in this one pattern, and we're going to get cold shot after cold shot, lake effect snow after lake effect snow. It's just going to be kind of the same thing over and over here. So the folks that are getting lake effect snow right now need to be watching out for that. The folks that are getting some of these little snow systems that are coming on the southern side, those are going to continue to be possible as we go, into December, as long as this weather pattern doesn't change too drastically. So that's kind of the forecast for today. Other than that, there's just not a whole lot to talk about. I just want to give you guys a brief little update here, just because, I've been hanging out with family for the past couple of days. Probably going to be hanging out with family again this afternoon. I haven't really had much time to make forecasts, but I did want to try to sneak one in here before the Iron Bowl and give you guys a brief update about what's going to be happening out here in the United States in terms of those snowfall. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next forecast. Peace.